It's midnight and you're tuning in to Nightline with me, Adrian Seet. The top stories. Don't politicize decline of ringgit, says a Prime Minister. And maximum 599 ringgit fare set for Aidilfitri flights to Malaysia and Borneo. Thanks for joining us. Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim has reminded all parties not to use the depreciating value of the ringgit as a political tool without any factual basis. Now, the Prime Minister stressed that the government is constantly seeking ways to address the issue for the sake of the people, including introducing the Madani Malaysia framework aimed at strengthening the country's economy.
Kita bimbang kalau bila ringgit jatuh, kemudian inflasi naik, pertumbuhan terbantut, pelaburan tak datang. Itu kita bimbang. Tapi sekarang ini semua angka dan data ekonomi menunjukkan kita di landasan yang betul. Sebab itu kita sementara dengar dan cari jalan untuk perbaiki. Janganlah jadikan ini sebagai satu sepak terjang politik sehingga tidak bersandarkan kepada fakta.
Anwar said this when speaking at the opening ceremony of Restu Global Quranic Arts Festival 2024 in Putrajaya on Saturday. He added that the strengthening of the US dollar could be managed given that Malaysia's trade with China, Indonesia and Thailand uses local currencies. Malaysia also is seeing strong economic performance through the Madani Malaysia framework, resulting in the country obtaining the highest investment amount in its history last year. The inflation and unemployment rates also decreased, and the economic growth was sustained amid a sluggish global economic environment. At a separate event, Anwar instructed that all maintenance and improvement projects at the entry points into the country be expedited. This is to ensure that all facilities, especially at airports and ports, can accommodate the increase in the arrival of foreign tourists.
Kita harus percepatkan. Tak boleh nak siap baiki airport dalam biasa dulu 3-4 tahun, tak boleh. Jadi sebab itu saya dah minta semua kawasan-kawasan ini disegerakan dan saudara Anthony Lok nampak menyegerakan hal yang sedemikian, ya. Lapangan terbang Tawau, Pulau Pinang yang sudah sesak itu harus diperluaskan untuk memudahkan. KLIA umpamanya itu dah jadi tekanan kerana jumlah pelancong yang sangat tinggi.
Anwar said this when opening the 2024 National Craft Day 2024 at the Craft Complex in Kuala Lumpur on Tuesday. He also said that the upgrading work of the Aero Train services at the Kuala Lumpur International Airport KLIA should also be completed quickly. He added that the authorities at the affected locations undergoing maintenance or repair need to consult the Transport Ministry and the Finance Ministry to expedite the work. However, the process to speed up the projects in question must be according to stipulated procedures. The Prime Minister also expressed the need for the synergy between ministries and agencies to be intensified to ensure the country's tourism industry, covering various interrelated elements such as service, safety, convenience and attractions, remains competitive. Additionally, he pointed out that the promotion of local products, handicrafts, batik and songket also should be expanded, as it can improve the income and elevate the dignity of the poor. The current depreciation of the ringgit has minimal impact on only the procurement and purchase of medicines from abroad. Health Minister Dato Sri Dr. Zulkifli Ahmad said this is because his ministry has implemented the hedging methods to avoid conducting medicine acquisitions at high prices.
Jadi kita beli awal, kita lock in awal. Jadi oleh kerana itu walaupun hari ini mungkin dalam sehari dua ni kita mata wang kita menjunam atau sedikit mengurang, tetapi kita sebenarnya berbayar dengan bayaran harga lebih awal yang kita telah lock in dulu. Ini cara kita untuk kita elakkan daripada terkena akibat apa yang dikatakan sebagai fluctuation, ya, perubahan mata wang.
Handing over of the Tanjung Karang Dental Clinic construction project to the Health Ministry on Saturday. He also said that the current low exchange rates have a positive impact, especially on the medical tourism sector. This as more patients from abroad seek healthcare treatment in the country. The government has set a maximum fare of 599 ringgit for a one-way economy class flight from the peninsula to Sabah, Sarawak and Labuan that is applicable for travel 3 days before Hari Raya Aidilfitri. Transport Minister Anthony Loke said this initiative was part of the government's efforts to assist people travelling back to their hometowns for Aidilfitri in April. According to Loke, those who buy their airline tickets early may get a cheaper price, but in the event of ticket shortages, the prices may surge. Thus, any increase exceeding 599 ringgit will be covered by government subsidies within the 3-day period. He also pointed out that no maximum price is set for air travel in the peninsula, where alternative modes of transportation like buses and trains are available. He also said that certain airlines may offer fixed prices for particular night flights and provide additional flights. These particular flights, which are only available a few times a day, are scheduled to be launched in March. Loke added that the ministry would seek the views of all parties, including the Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Religious Affairs, to determine the exact date of Aidilfitri before finalising the implementation of the maximum ticket price. Tourism, Arts and Culture Minister Datuk Sri Tiong King Sing on Saturday denied that the Malaysian Tourism Promotion Board Tourism Malaysia Director General Datuk Amar Abdul Ghaffar was sacked from the post. Instead, he said Amar was only demoted to the post of Deputy Director General. Tiong said that the decision was made due to Amar's declining performance that was described as unsatisfactory, despite him being advised several times to improve.
Dia tak ada idea ataupun dia tak tahu macam mana buat. Kalau bila you tak boleh perform, saya mesti tukar. Tukar saya tidak kasih pecat, saya kasih dia turun pangkat saja.
Tiong said this in response to media reports on Amar's dismissal as Tourism Malaysia DG as alleged in a letter dated February 22nd. According to the letter, the termination of Amar's service effective next Monday was in accordance to the Malaysian Tourism Promotion Board Act and the Interpretation Act. Elaborating on the matter, Tiong cited Amar's lack of engagement with industry players as one of the reasons for the demotion. The minister also revealed that the Senior Director of International Promotion for Asia and Africa, P. Manoharan, would replace Amar following the appropriate procedures. Pulau Pinang is positioning itself not just as the first medical technology or medtech hub in Southeast Asia, but also within the broader Asian region. Its Chief Minister, Chow Kon Yeow, said this as the state that has been leveraging its engineering strength and expertise to attract foreign investments is now seeing a cluster of medical tech factories set up in Batu Kawan and Bayan Lepas.
We have our first medical tech investment, B. Brown, way back in the 70s. But there are not too many medical tech investment. But of late, I think the last many years, we focus our attention at medical tech as well. And in Batu Kawan, there are quite a number of medical tech investment setting up their manufacturing here as well.
Chow said this in an exclusive interview with TV3's flagship business and financial talk show Money Matters, aired on Saturday. Known as the Silicon Valley of the East, the state is home to 6 out of the 30 top global medical device companies, which is the highest number of medtech companies in Southeast Asia. The Chief Minister, who is also the Batu Kawan Member of Parliament, highlighted that the state remains a destination of choice for investors in the electrical and electronics or E&E sector. This is due to the strong manufacturing ecosystem involving more than 350 multinational companies, MNCs, which are supported by over 3,000 local manufacturing-related small and medium enterprises, SMEs.
We cannot do everything, but there are gaps that we can fill, like material for semiconductor. Maybe investment in this area are welcome. So we hope that these are some sectors that we hope to leverage on our forte as a semicon hub.
On another matter, Chow said that the 10 billion ringgit Pulau Pinang Light Rail Transit LRT project will serve as the backbone of the public transport system in the state, akin to what is observed in the Klang Valley, and it will further develop as demand and needs increase. He added that the alignment of the rail will spur transit-oriented development along the line, while local contractors and businesses will also stand to benefit from the construction phase of the project. This could also potentially enable the proposed cross-channel link via elevated railway system connecting Pulau Pinang Island with the mainland to materialize. Chow also hoped that the federal government will support the state by implementing the necessary traffic elevation projects to reduce traffic congestion. He added that a better and more efficient public transportation and highway network in the state would not only boost productivity but also improve the quality of life for Penanglites. "15 dead and dozens injured in China flat fire." News from the foreign front when we return.
Daripada mimpi, terciptanya melodi. Rentasi dunia musika verse di AJL paling ikonik, anugerah juara lagu 38. Secara langsung dari Aziata Arena, Ahad 3 Mac 9 malam, eksklusif di TV3. Dan stream juga melalui Tonton. Sekarang dah boleh tonton favourite anda di Smart TV tahu.
Awas, kurangkan kelajuan. Brian O'Connor dan Dominic Toretto memecut di hadapan. Tunduk ke kanan untuk menumpaskan sedikit.
Just like old times.
Simpang hadapan, anda harus memilih antara kesetiaan dan persahabatan. Anda akan tiba di lokasi perlombaan. Fast and Furious, Ahad ini 9 malam di Magnificent 8 TV3. Dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Kekalkan kelestarian warisan budaya negara melalui seni tarian kuda kepang.
Persembahan kuda kepang dia tidak melibatkan unsur menurun. Dia tidak melibatkan unsur pemujaan. Dia hanya persembahan yang estetikanya adalah estetika formal sahaja.
Kalau dulu orang tua dia tak nak bising buat ni, tak boleh cakap, tak boleh apa, dia ketuk-ketuk saja.
Anak yang baru nak masuk sekolah, haramkan perkataan negatif. Ini akan menyebabkan mereka rasa negatif yang tak seronok, tergugat untuk ke sekolah.
Welcome back. The special visit by a 5-member delegation of Malaysian members of parliament to the Rafah border crossing on Friday is a recognition of Egypt's constructive role in seeking a peaceful solution to the Israel-Palestine conflict. The delegation arrived at 4:45 p.m. after nearly 13-hour journey from Cairo, passing through 13 strict security checkpoints. Deputy Foreign Minister Datuk Muhammad Al-Amin said the visit also aims to monitor the handling of the humanitarian corridor, including Malaysia's assistance under Ops Ihsan to the Palestinian people in Gaza. During the journey to Rafah, they also witnessed almost 3,000 humanitarian aid trucks waiting in line along a nearly 4-kilometer stretch. The delegation also heard the sounds of rocket explosions within the Gaza Strip and witnessed firsthand the process of humanitarian aid trucks entering Gaza. The presence of the delegation also demonstrates to the world the unity of the Malaysian people, regardless of beliefs and political parties, regarding their stance and unwavering support in advocating for the Palestinian issue. Now into its 6th day. The International Court of Justice, ICJ, in The Hague continues its public hearings regarding the legal implications arising from Israel's policies and practices in the occupied Palestinian territories. South Africa has called on all countries to testify in a case it has filed against Israel before the ICJ in order to punish the occupying regime for its crimes against the besieged Gaza Strip. They describe that what Israel is doing against the Palestinian is the worst form of apartheid. Meanwhile, Malaysia and Indonesia on Friday urged the ICJ to rule as illegal what many, including the United Nations, call Israel's occupation of Palestinian lands and demand that the Jewish state pull out its troops and pay for reparations. Qatar also rejected the double standards of when international law applies to some countries, but not to others. They also said the occupation is illegal due to its violation and violating the Palestinian people's right to self-determination. Israel, in the meantime, is expected to send a formal notification to the ICJ on Monday, saying that it is complying with provisional measures handed down by the court. Elsewhere, the United States has said that the new Israeli settlements in the occupied Palestinian territories are illegal, effectively reversing a policy by the administration of former President Donald Trump. U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken said in an announcement by Israeli Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich that more than 3,300 new Israeli settlements are to be built in the occupied West Bank was disappointing.
On settlements, we've seen the reports, and I have to say we're disappointed in the announcement. It's been long-standing U.S. policy under Republican and Democratic administrations alike that new settlements are counterproductive to reaching an enduring peace. They're also inconsistent with international law. Our administration maintains a firm opposition to settlement expansion.
It was another deadly night for the Palestinians in the Gaza Strip as the Zionist regime killed nearly 100 Palestinians early on Saturday in a series of strikes.
In a statement, Gaza's health ministry reported that at least 92 Palestinians were killed in the past 24 hours in overnight strikes across Gaza, with the most severe strikes occurring in Deir el-Balah. The regime also arrested at least 22 Palestinians in the occupied West Bank, including a journalist as well as 2 children, in raids conducted in multiple locations, including Hebron, Tulkarim, Beit Furik and villages near Jenin. UNRWA representatives say it can no longer provide services in North Gaza, citing lack of staff and a collapse of social order amid Zionist attacks on civilians and restrictions on food aid access that has left the population starved.
The body of Russian opposition politician Alexei Navalny has finally been handed over to his mother more than a week after he died. The release comes after she had reportedly been told to agree to a secret burial, or else he would be buried at a prison colony where he died. In confirming the matter, Navalny's spokesperson, Kira Yarmish, thanked those who helped demand the return of his body. So far, the details of his funeral arrangements has yet to be determined, and it is unclear whether Russian authorities would interfere and allow for a funeral to be held the way the family wants. Over in China, at least 15 people were killed and dozens more injured in a fire at an apartment block in Nanjing. Now, according to authorities, a preliminary investigation showed the fire, which broke out early on Friday, started on the building's first floor where electric bikes had been placed. However, the specific cause of the fire remained under investigation. Officials said of the 44 injured people sent to hospital for treatment, 1 is in a critical condition and another seriously injured. It was also reported that 25 fire engines and 130 firefighters were sent to tackle the blaze. One person died and another injured late on Friday in a bomb blast at a college in Imphal, the capital of India's northeastern state of Manipur. According to authorities, the bomb exploded in the office of the All Manipur Students' Union located inside the DM University campus in Imphal West District. The 2 injured were immediately rushed to the hospital where one succumbed to his injuries. No group has yet to take responsibility for the blast of the improvised explosive device. Following the explosion at about 1 a.m. local time, the office of the United Committee Manipur was set ablaze, further exacerbating tensions in the region. The state of Manipur has been embroiled in intense clashes since May, primarily between the Meitei majority and the Kuki minority. centered around disputes over economic benefits and tribal quotas. Leverkusen set a new unbeaten record. Sports after this breather.
Pencalonan baru Muzik 39 minggu ini. Bersama saya Izzy Islam dan artis jemputan pada minggu ini. Oh sayang, intan payung dalam Muzik 39 Ahad ini jam 12.30 hari di TV3 dan stream HD secara langsung di aplikasi tonton.
Tapi kalau pergi sekolah tu memang saya tak makan. Tak cukup nasi. So, nak bagi duit tak cukup juga. Lepas tu saya puasalah daripada pagi tu sampai maghrib yang saya balik tu baru saya buka puasa makan kat rumah. Nasi dengan kicap, telur goreng.
Hari-hari nak makan ayam. Ayam goreng, ayam bakar. Tapi ayam tak ada duit. Kalau rasa sedap. Tapi tak pernah rasa.
On to sports. Football, the German Bundesliga. Granit Xhaka scored his first goal for Bayer Leverkusen as the leaders beat Mainz 2-1 and set a new German record of 33 games unbeaten across all competitions. Xhaka opened the scoreline with the hosts 3 minutes into the game when he thumped in a dipping rocket from the edge of the box. Leverkusen's elation was short-lived, however, with a second bottom Mainz striking back just 4 minutes later through Dominic Kor's diving header. With just under 20 minutes remaining, Robert Andrich sealed the win for Leverkusen when his long-range effort was fumbled into his own goal by Mainz keeper Robin Zentner. With the victory, Xabi Alonso's team are now 61 points, with second-place Bayern at 50 points. Still on football, the J-League. Champions Vissel Kobe began the new campaign on a winning note after beating newly promoted Jubilo Iwata 2-0. Koya Yuruki gave the visitors a dream start as he found the back of the net from long range in the 5th minute. Kobe then doubled the advantage 4 minutes into the second half after Takahiro Ogihara won possession back inside his own half, enabling Yuya Osako to quickly thread the ball forward. From the halfway line for Daiju Sasaki, who rolled his shot through the legs of Iwata's keeper Eiji Kawashima. Kobe will take on Kashiwa Reysol next at home on March the 2nd. When we return, 2 suspects held over murder probe in Cebu. Stay with us.
Awas, kurangkan kelajuan. Brian O'Connor dan Dominic Toretto memercut di hadapan. Tunduk ke kanan untuk menumpaskan sedikit.
Just like old times.
Simpang hadapan, anda harus memilih antara kesetiaan dan persahabatan. Anda akan tiba di lokasi perlumbaan. Fast and Furious, Ahad ini 9 malam di Magnificent 8 TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton. Lihat aku dari matanya, kayak cutera.
Demam, batuk dan sakit badan. So waktu tu saya assume dia demam biasa. Jadi kita makan ubat yang ada kat rumah je lah. Awas, anda mungkin mengalami influenza.
Ada juga keadaan influenza yang boleh membawa
injection yang diperlukan sedang sekali sebagai perlindungan daripada influenza infection.
Influenza virus tersembunyi. Nantikan diskusinya di Hello Doktor Ahad 5.30 petang di TV3 dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
Welcome back. In Negeri Sembilan, a Singaporean man was killed after the car he was driving crashed into a road barrier on the North-South Expressway on Saturday. State Traffic Investigation and Enforcement Department Chief Superintendent Muhammad Zaki Rahmat said that the incident occurred near the Seremban Port Dickson interchange around 1:20 p.m. It was believed that the Nissan Almira driven by the 24-year-old victim who was heading north from Johor Bahru had skidded before slamming into the road barrier. Firefighters from the Senawang Fire Station were dispatched to the scene to extricate the victim, who was pinned in the car. However, he was pronounced dead by medical officers at the scene. His body was taken to Tuanku Jaafar Hospital for post-mortem. The cause of the crash is being investigated under the Road Transport Act. In Sarawak, 2 men were arrested to facilitate police investigation into the murder of a 24-year-old female shop assistant in Cebu on Friday. District Police Chief ACP Zulkifli Suhaili said that the first arrest at 9:30 p.m. involved the victim's former husband, aged 27, while the second arrest at 9:30 a.m. on Saturday involved a 28-year-old burger seller who knew the victim. In a statement on Saturday, Zulkifli said both suspects were remanded for a week until March the 1st to assist in the probe, and the case is being investigated under the Penal Code for murder. He also said that the first suspect was arrested in a longhouse not far from Cebu town, while the second suspect was arrested at a location in Cebu Jaya. Based on initial investigation, the second suspect wanted to borrow some cash from the victim but was denied, causing him to act aggressively. The CCTV footage of a victim being stabbed by the suspect also went viral on social media. Zulkifli said that police received the information on the discovery of the victim lying in a pool of blood in front of a shop in Cebu Jaya at 3:10 p.m. She was rushed to Cebu Hospital to receive treatment but was reported to have died at 11:34 p.m. on the same day. Meanwhile, in Perak, the body of a woman was found floating on the edge of the pond at Bandar Lahad Mines in Ipoh on Saturday. State Fire and Rescue Department Assistant Director for Operations, Sabarudzi Nur Ahmad, said that the department received an emergency call to help police retrieve the body of the victim, believed to be in her 20s, at about 10:20 a.m. A team from the Pasir Putih Fire and Rescue Station was dispatched to the scene of the incident, and the body was found with an identity card. The team then handed over the body to police for further action, and the operation concluded at 11:24 a.m. As we wrap up Nightline this time around, let's take a look as Colombia recovers 77 pre-Hispanic artifacts that belonged to a collector after a repatriation process that lasted over a year. Now, the relics that included ceramic jugs and jars were taken decades ago when a German buyer got them in Colombia in 1974. With that, I'm Adrian Seet. Thank you for tuning in and stay safe, Malaysia.